Man, I don't know about y'all motherfuckers, but I know I'm going to hell. Hey, and you know what did it for me? I tried to get help. I know I'm not right. So look, I went to treatment early 2020. Probably the best decision I ever made. I went there because I had a drug addiction. I didn't go there for anything else but that. I remember it like it was yesterday. My friend Josh gave me a ride, and he dropped me off. He was like, "I'm proud of you." And I'm like, "For what? Finally giving you my plug's number? Go fuck yourself. You happy now?" I was like, "You think I want to be here?" Didn't work last time, back in 2014. Long story short, working from home, and apparently the SWAT team doesn't appreciate self-employed people. At least that's how I seen it. Anyways, I walked through the door, and I sat down, and I had all this planned out. I knew I was high. They're gonna send me over to the detox for 3 days. I could smoke up this whole pack of cigarettes I brought, and then they would transfer me over to residential, and I could begin this process. So I get in there, and I sit down, and it's quiet. The lady at the desk didn't say anything, and I looked at my phone, and it died, and there was silence. And this one tear just goes rolling down my eye. And there was this lady sitting across from me. And she was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I wanted to say so much, but instead, another tear followed. And then I looked at her and I was like, "No, but I will be." A couple moments of silence passed, and I started kind of gathering my thoughts. And then I was like, "So how long have you worked? How long have you been working here?" And she looked up at me and she was like, "I'm here to check in." And immediately, this connection was made, right? I was like, "That's awesome. We get to be friends for the next 30 days. And she was like, "Well, I'm going to be in here the next 9 months." Hey, look. And like, I couldn't help myself. I know we had like a little moment there, but the first thing that came out my mouth was, "What the fuck is wrong with you? 9 whole ass months. What did you do?" She was in shock. And before she had a chance to reply, all of a sudden the lady at the desk wanted to step in. She'd been quiet this whole fucking time. She ain't said a single thing, and now she's on a walkie-talkie calling people up to the front. Talking about, sir, you need to calm down. And I was like, if you seen what I was doing about an hour ago, I'd say I'm pretty fucking calm right now. Then two people came out from a door and swept that girl away. I never seen her again. I mean, I hope she made it, because clearly I was making strides my first 20 minutes in the fucking door. I look at the lady at the desk and I'm like, "Hey, I'm gonna step outside and smoke a cigarette real quick." I start walking towards the door and I get this little tap on my shoulder. I turn around, I meet one of the BHTs. That means behavioral health technician. He said, "It's time to check in." I'm looking at him like he's one of the Dementors from Harry Potter. I'm like, "No, no, no, no. You gotta hold on. You don't think what I did? You don't think I just seen what you did with that bitch? You done came in and swept her away, soul and all." He's like, "It's time to go," and he grabs my arm and he walks me to this little tiny ass room. Anyways, we get in there, right? And he takes my cigarettes. I'm like, "What the fuck are you doing? Those are mine." He's like, "This is a tobacco-free campus." So I'm like, "When the fuck did that happen?" He's like, "It's been like that." I was like, "Well, I'm going to detox, right?" He's like, "No, no, we're putting you into your room by yourself for the next 24 hours. And I'm like, "You're coming with, though, right? You're coming with." Anyway, so then I didn't have no motherfucking cigarettes. I was pissed. I knew this wasn't gonna work out for me whatsoever. But I had to. I had to go to treatment. You know, I need to get better. Take care of this drug addiction. So I go to my room, right? This bitch wheels a fucking this little crate in my room with like a piece of bread and a milk next to it. I'm like, what the fuck is that? You think that's gonna... This is my first day. This is my first fucking day. Just like that? Y'all are wrong. And I was like, can I come out of my room? They're like, no, you're high. I'm like, well, what the fuck, man? This is a treatment center. People come in here high all the time. Hey, then I met this BHT. Her name was Amy. Look, worst person I've ever met in my entire life at that time. I was not happy. She was a total cunt. And I was fucking coming down. Okay? I can't put up with that shit. Nobody with that many behavior problems should be working for a treatment center. Period. Okay? If you ever go there, look for Amy. Watch the fuck out. Watch the fuck out. She's an awful person. God bless her heart. She gave it her best effort. It didn't work for me. I threw my fucking phone at her one day and broke it. And then when the security came up to the front and they're asking about this whole phone incident, I lied and said that I broke my phone and it had nothing to do with Amy. And that bitch stayed quiet and she agreed with me. I'm like, why would you let me lie for you? Don't you understand I'm getting you in my pocket? Like, I'm an addict. I got plans for you. Fuck. Anyways, so I learned that I had a lot of mental health problems when I was in there. You know, I thought it was a drug addiction, then I found out it was a mental health problem. And drugs were my solution for the mental health problem. It was unaddressed for many, many years. Anyways, so I did my 30 days, you know, my 30 days inpatient. There's a talent show. I wrote this poem for this talent show when I was in there. And, look, I placed second. And, you know, I really didn't think I was going to even get anything, let alone second. Now, I would have placed first, but there was a gay guy, and he fluffed confetti out of his ass. Even I was impressed. I mean, you're talking about pure, raw, sober talent. There's passion in there. Anyways, so then I think I'm like towards my last couple days there, right? And I think I got like 3 days left. And this chick named Danny comes in, and I only knew her for 3 days. But this is how I knew I found my best friend. Okay? I had to warn her about Amy. And we're sitting there in the circle, right? And I'm like, that right there is Amy. Watch out for her. Alright? You know, I'm just looking out. And for some reason, I was like, she looks like she belongs on a Wild Horse commercial. Clearly, if that was my last 3 days there, I was still the same person I walked in the fucking door as, minus the drugs. Anyways. So the one person I talked to the least in treatment those 3 days is the one person I still talk to today. Kind of weird how that works. It's actually the only person from the treatment center that I actually still talk to. And we don't help each other as far as the mental health thing goes. She's just as bad as the person as I was, and still am. She's awful. I told her I was gaslighting somebody one time, and she's like, well, maybe you could do it better. I mean, who the fuck gives somebody that kind of advice? I mean, I would, but Anyway, so that's how I know this is gonna be my best friend. So I ended up graduating, and I was helping smuggle vapes into the treatment center. I had already planned this out for myself. When I was in there, I used the Google Sky Map, and I like highlighted the path that I needed someone to walk, and then what direction to throw whatever tobacco product over the wall was so I can get it. It didn't work out so well in my favor because people are fucking illiterate. So when we're outside on our free time, somebody just pulls up and throws it right at me, and it just hits me in the chest while BHT is looking at me. Luckily, that BHT dropped his chewing tobacco earlier that week in the treatment center, and he wasn't supposed to have it in there, and I stole it from him, and he knew that I stole it from him, but he would lose his job if the staff found out that I had that in my possession because of him. So he just kept it on the low. Well, when he seen that tobacco get thrown at me, he just turned his head and looked away. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. You're in my fucking pocket. You're in my fucking pocket. Anyway, so when I graduated treatment, I started throwing vapes over the wall because it's kind of like Money Heist. You know, you plan something out, and it doesn't work out for the first person, but then the next person that goes to try it, it actually works out really well. Anyways, I was flinging vapes over the fucking wall into the Serenity Garden, and then 30 days goes by, and Danny graduates treatment. And we kind of had like this joke where like Amy, something about coconuts, horse counting, clicking, I don't know what it was. It was clearly two drug addicts with a really bad idea in their mind. Anyway, so I said, I'm going to buy some coconuts. When I pick you up, I'm going to click them together and make fun of Amy. And so I'm clicking these fucking coconuts, and they just shatter, right? I didn't think it was the Easy Break coconuts. I didn't know what that little line was on them. Anyway, shit went everywhere. Look, it was a really bad idea. But after leaving treatment, not only did I have a chewing tobacco addiction I didn't go in there with, but then I was smoking cigarettes and chewing. I've fine-tuned my manipulation skills. And then, on top of that, I relapsed. After getting out of treatment. 6 months later, I got sober. Finally. And you know, it was a conversation with God and a cup of coffee on my mom's porch. Yeah, I wish somebody would have fucking told me. Anyways, I'm a year sober now. And recovery is possible. Thank you for listening.